Hmm.
Hello, guys. Okay, so I think um, we're trying to create the interactive wizard for configuration. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm creating this Sharfetch configuration instance of this class, which is pretty uh, deep and then mixed up. But what I'm doing is I'm defining the modules that I want to show. Here, I'm gonna say this is part of the display format. No icons. It's also part of display. Oops. Display show show icons, and this gotta be a boolean, and then will be true false. This is also display, and then show charts. Same story. Full true false, and here for modules. I am not sure if we have something for this like display configuration modules. True. Oh yes, it is. We do have. dot display modules same story true false. And for parallel, I think this is part of modules. Is it? Like, yes, it is. Here we say bool, and then this will be either true or false. Okay, for execution time, I think it's the same. We gotta go to modules, modules, boolean, and true or false. And then we have this. Okay, we have this, and that's okay. And I think I can take a previous code that I've done here. Hmm. Yeah, this is something that I've done in my free time, like doing this. I think I can do pretty much the same. But I'm thinking if I should create uh, a function for this, like to display this, or should I? Yeah, I think I'm gonna create a function for that. Private string um print config preview, and then we'll go nc console dot. Should I use the string builder? I think not. Markup line. Yeah, I think we can create this. Like we can create a grid. Let me do that. Bar grid equals new grid, and then grid add column, and grid add column. Yep. And then instead of all this, let's do grid add row. And then here down, we can say print config preview, and then config. And then, for example, I think I can go to program CS and add an option for this bar. But I think this will not be an option. Actually, this will be a sub command. Let me check the. Yeah, so commands. Here we can have the commands, and for sub command, it's gonna be okay. Command, and it's gonna be called config with, for example, and then run the interactive configuration wizard. From there, I think we can just do this. And then we can add this down here, root that command, that sub command, that add, and then add the interactive config sub command. What I'm not sure is how to add the action. I think it was like that, like set action. Yep, set actions. Set action, and then we're gonna be passing this lambda here, and we will just be calling the, yep, this guy, and then close it. Pretty much what we need. Uh, and that's it. What do we have here? We're having a complaint here. Let me see what can we do. Let us ask AI to fix this. Okay, so it seems we are good with this. Let me check if we have this working. So git no .NET run for help, and let's see if we get the sub command. Yeah, config with we got it here. So let's try running it. Config with, okay, got it. We select the module we want to enable. Then we say we want panels, so icons true, surcharge false. modules grouping, yes. Parallel, yes. Execution time, false. And as for now, we're not doing anything. We're just printing this. So now let's see. Let's add something here like package, and then for format. Okay, seems that for parallel execution we are missing something. Let me say under. Okay, we got this. Okay. Okay, so now we have this, and maybe we can add here below something like if and see console that confirm. Let's see what it got. Yes, we can comment this for now. Okay, so far I think we're doing good. We have the basic configuration flow. This is for when we have the config saved, and this is when it's not saved. Maybe we can update this to use the emoji check mark, and then yes, this is the emoji cross. And then, for example, we can see the configuration loader. It's this one. Okay, I think we can call this create default config file or a version of this. For example, to maybe we can take this and put it down here. Or maybe I think we don't need this one. We can pass here the sharp fetch configuration, and then just say config, okay? New config will equal to config. Okay, we need a default config. Okay, then I think we can take this now. Okay, I was wrong. I need to add here the new config. Yes, pass it. And then let me comment these lines. Okay. For the path, we need user config path and then JSON. Okay, so we can call this create default config file where I think we can run it maybe here. This is going to be a static one from a class. So maybe saying config loader, configuration loader, that create default config file. And that way we will create or update the config. Okay, let's try running and see if we actually update it. For example, in the config one, we have no modules defined here. So let's run the config wizard. Show icons true, show charts false, group modules true, parallel yes, execution time true. And let's say that we want to save this. And as you can see, we did updated the configuration. So we have this copy. And from here, we will have to check if we remove anything that was needed for running this. For example, we didn't create the groups one, timeout and show execution. Okay, that's okay. True. Groups, it's yeah, maybe for groups we can create the default groups and let the user override it here in the file. And then panels through default show charts. Yeah. Then done it around dash dash. And we should have this configuration. Okay. Something happened and it didn't run. Oh, we got no, everything seems to be fine. There must be something missing that maybe it's crashing because of that. For example, we have the modules, parallel, timeout, show execution, and groups. Yeah, maybe it's the groups thing. Yeah, because we say true and we don't have any groups defined. Let me copy this and see if that is causing the issue. Okay, let's try running this. Okay, doesn't seem so. Oh, you know what? Must be the modules. Because, for example, we're using uppercases here, and I think we define them with lower cases. Okay, so what I did was to make all these to lower. So let's see if that is causing the issue. Uh, let's say panels, true, false, true, uh, yes, yes, and yes. And if we go to the config, we have now defined in lower cases, and now we can say .NET and run. Okay, so we have, yeah, both of them. User OS, CPU memory. Okay, one, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, we do have six. And I think this is pretty good. We're displaying this as panels. Let me run the config again. And I want to select now that I want trees. So let us display the same because these four do not exist. I just added them because I was using AI. False, yes, yes, yes. And this, yes, let's save it. Okay, this is pretty good. Now I think that maybe we should define uh, a way of of changing the color and be able to name the groups. Maybe here after group, if the user selected true for this one, get into defining the grouping. Or maybe that's too complex and we should let the user decide how to do it by updating the configuration by himself, because we will have to let the user create this and the display name and then the coloring and select which models go where. Yeah, I think for this one maybe we can create a documentation for how to update this, because using the wizard for this may be hard, because we will have to create a session to let the user create one group and then check if everything is well with the group and then move on with the next one. And then if he's not happy, maybe he will have to override all of them. And I think that will be rather complicated. Maybe what we can do is that if the user selects true for adding groups, then adding this default grouping. So let's see this in config loader. I think it is. Yes. And for example, let me copy this and say if new config dot display dot group it's equal to true, well, is true, then new config dot modules dot groups will be this. Okay. And yeah, just remove this one. Nope, I don't want an else. System hardware environment status green, cyan, blue, magenta. Okay. So let us try this again. No. um we have to run the config wizard, and let's try adding the same modules. Let's say we want the panels, icons, yes, charts, no, modules, yes, group, yes, and yes. And let's save this to the config and try running this again. There we go. Now we have this different coloring. I like it. I think this looks good. And yes, I think this is okay. And then the user will be able to get into the config JSON and then just change this the way he wants. Now I think we can say this has been done. And we go to plan MD. Implement yes. Okay, now we have to make the disk and memory charts linear. Create option to display nerd font or emoji icons. Okay. Yeah, I think we can start with the charts, and I think that may have a place. So let's look for that. Let's close all of this. Yeah, maybe we can continue working on this later. I think for now it's good. So for disk, I think the renderer is the way to go. So here we must be using the charts. Yes, render charts. Here it is. So far, let me use the config wiz. Let's say panels. Yes, yes, everything true, and then yes. And let's run it so we can see how this displays. Okay, so we have this. We have the memory usage and disk usage as separate panels. And first of all, I think we don't want that. We should be displaying all that inside one panel, and I think we can use a grid to make this possible. So for example, okay, this is new for me. I didn't knew you could use this. Show percentage, that's okay. I think we can do Control C until we get. I was working also with the charts, but I removed all that. So I think yes. Okay, I think we can create the grid, and then instead of printing this, we can say grid that at row, Yes. And then we can move this below and pass the grid here. And as a display header, we should say memory. Oops. Memory. Yeah. Memory and disk. Okay. This is not a good title for now. Why? Because if the user wants to display only memory or only disk space, then this is going to be an issue. But for now, I think we're good with it. Let me see if we got it as we want. Okay. So, okay, let me see how was I doing it here. Like, let me comment this and then uncomment all of this. Okay, so we got the grid, we created, we add a column here, and then for each result, we create the breakdown chart, which is this one. We pass the values, which will be used and free for both of them. And then we add one row. I think we can get rid of this one. And let's see what we get after running this. Okay, so we're having an issue here because we're getting these inner panels, which I don't want to be displaying. I'm not sure why they are being printed because here I'm trying just to print one, and this for each is only acting here. So after getting the data along, print it, I print the panel with the green side. Is my grid doing that? Also, we have this. I'm not sure why are we trying to print here because it's pretty uh weird. Let me go. Actually, let me go to here and maybe that is happening because of this. Yes, it seems so. Hmm, quite weird. We're showing percentage, and for each entry in the chart data, we're adding them, and we're not adding anything. Oh, yes, it's because of this. And then border, no border. Do I need a title? And let's see if now we got it. Okay. Okay, a little bit more like what I want. Maybe we can remove the padding because I think that's too much. Even from here, but still we're getting this annoying thing. I think we will have to debug why this is being printed. But let's run this again and let's see what we get. Okay. You know what? I think I think we could remove the header from here and then add another column, something like this, and then here we can add the entry that result that, well, let's just place data, for example, as a string here. Maybe no. What can we add? Let me see how we use the grids. So what can we add here? Could I say text or something like that? Let me check for documentation for this. Yeah, I think we should be able to do this. Create that add column again. Okay, I'm doing something wrong here. I'm not sure what am I doing wrong. Okay, maybe we can type new text here. Maybe that's renderable. And say data, something like this. And then maybe now we can run this and it might look better. Okay, I'm liking this a lot more. And we have this and what? It is like if you try to duplicate this here up, it might be an issue with the config, you know? It might be trying to print it there. And maybe we can add a little of padding. Okay, not yet. We must be looking at a space between our charts. That's what I want. Um, how this might be defined. Okay, I think maybe this should go no uh, here. I think this is the bottom padding. Let me try inserting a big number if and check if we can see a difference here, but not yet. I need to place a space here. You know what? Let's add padding everywhere and see where we get it affected. Let me build this again and then run it and see. Let's see if we check any difference. There you go. So the padding is actually here, not here. Oh, look. Yes, it is being duplicated. So I have to see why this is happening. Anyways, so this is for the column and not for the row. Okay, maybe we can try this. And then we can remove this column configuration and then run it. Yeah, now we're getting a little bit of space. I think this is quite like what we want. Okay, so for now, I think this is good, and I think we can leave it here for now. So I still need to be working on this, but I think we can set this as done. Maybe we just need to make some adjustments, but for now, this is way better than we had before. Oh, and also we have to fix um this bug here. Yeah, so I hope I'm gonna be going to stream a later today to continue working on this. But for now, I think we got a pretty good progress. Thank you guys, and I hope you to see you in the next one.